Hi, I'm Heather from BookTubes, and today is my ebook haul for March and April and the beginning of May. So these are the books that I bought, and then what I currently have checked out from the library and Kindle Unlimited. I am wearing my Nerd on a Power Trip shirt that recently came in. If you know the drama with Lauren Hoff or who, she called reviewers who gave her book 4.5 stars, Nerds on a Power Trip, and it's my new favorite thing. I mean, I despise her, but it's my new favorite thing. And I bought this shirt from, my name is Marinez. I bought it from her Twitter, so I will try and link that. I'm not gonna lie, it is more baby pink than I was anticipating, but it's all good. So let's get started, shall we? With the ebooks that I bought or downloaded for free, whatever. I think I bought all of these. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so my first one is Hot as Hades by Alisha Rai, and this is a Hades and Persephone retelling. It is with them as the god and the goddess, and she like falls in his lap. And I don't know, I just want a good Hades and Persephone retelling. I do. Obviously, most of us are waiting for Neon Gods by Katie Robert to come out in June. But in the meantime, I really wanted to read this one. This is a South Asian, I believe, author, and I've heard some good things. Then I have Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. This is a manga that is the favorite, or one of the favorites, of Shay from Shay Geeks Out. And again, I've heard really good things. I bought it all the way back in March. Still haven't read it. By the way, I should insert here, these are only books that I have not read. Because I would literally have so many if I didn't do that. So these are only the books that I haven't read yet. Anyways, it's manga. I think it's good. Going to be good. Yeah, I'm excited. Then I have Legally Yours by Nicole French. This was recommended by Tori in our Billionaire collab, and I know nothing about it, so let me look at the synopsis. I don't remember why this one made my list. I know Tori recommended it, and I picked a few that she recommended actually because a lot of them sounded really good, but I don't remember why this was one of them, because that is who I am as a person. She has a temper, she's a little bit neurotic, she can't afford to be distracted these days. At the end of her 3rd year at Harvard Law, blah, 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 she's trying to figure her life out on a dark, snowy night. She's stranded in the living room of the notorious CEO. Oh, I love this. He doesn't believe in fate. Yada, 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 until, of course, he meets the gorgeous redhead sitting on his windowsill. I'm ready. You may know I have a personal pet peeve with the amount of redheads presented in romances, but nonetheless, she sold it to me. So it's a billionaire romance. She's a law student, and he finds her in his living room. Yay! Then I have In Flight, which is Up in the Air, #1 by R.K. Lilley. I have seen this recommended over and over and over again over the years, but it wasn't free, it wasn't on Kindle Unlimited, it wasn't at my library, it wasn't $2, and so I've been putting it off. But it's a flight attendant and a billionaire. It's often compared to like 50 Shades of Grey, Verity, other books like that, and I've just seen it recommended over and over again, and I finally bought it. And we'll see. We shall see. I don't know if I know anybody who's actually read it. Should we look at the reviews? Okay, so I do have some mutuals who have read it, and their ratings vary wildly. Got everything from 1 to 5 stars, so I actually have quite a few mutuals who have read it. So I don't know, but I did buy it, and we shall see. It's another billionaire romance, but I think there's some BDSM elements. Then I have The Reinvention of the Rose by Christina C. Jones. This is one that was like $5.99 and wasn't on Kindle Unlimited, which is why I hadn't read it when it released. Obviously, Christina C. Jones is one of my favorite authors. Again, I know nothing about what this is about. I just know I see her talk about it. So let's find out what it is. Desperation, not a phenomenon Tempest could typically claim, but certainly the catalyst for where she's landed, not in peril or pain, but in dire need of the very normalcy she's often emulated but never been able to obtain. Now there's nothing in her way except all those years of being everything except what she now has to become herself as soon as she figures out who that is. So I still have no idea what this book is about. I want to say she might be an actress. And that could be just lying. That could be something I didn't hear at all. If it is Christina C. Jones, I adore her. And so there you go. Then I have The Masked Minotaur by Chace Verity. Chace Verity is the author of Deal with the Demon, which I loved. They write queer romances and queer characters in general. So even if it's a male-female relationship, often the characters are not straight and all the side characters are not straight, and that's just what they do. And I loved Deal with the Demon. The Masked Minotaur is a sapphic romance, and she married her wife in a marriage of convenience, but is not into her wife in the way that she's into the Masked Minotaur. I would assume that this is similar to the classic Zorro trope where the Masked Minotaur is in fact her wife. I don't know that for sure, but I would be shocked if that's not the story that I'm getting. That's why I think I'm getting it's a novella, and I want to read more by this author, as well as more LGBTQ plus romances in general. I'm trying to add those in. I'm honestly not doing the greatest job with them. I feel like they are something that needs improvement in my reading stats, if you will, and I know I like this author. So then I have Kidnapping the Bride by Isla Chiu. This is a short novella. It's not in Kindle Unlimited. You have to purchase it. It's like 30 pages or 50 pages at most, and I am such a sucker for when they steal the bride from the wedding. That is like one of my favorite tropes. I just freaking adore it. I read one book by her last month and it was fine. It was like Jessica Kane. Plan on this being the same thing. Alpha, over the top, smut, you mine. I dig it. Then I bought Finders Keepers by C.A. Rose, which is a novella by Aurora Rose Reynolds under a pen name. It was 99 cents. She wrote it. It's Alpha. That's all I needed to know. I wanted it. She writes alphas. Then apparently I haven't hauled this yet. I've had it for freaking ever. Haven't read it. But My Dad's Best Friend by Katee Robert. This is the third in her A Touch of Taboo series, and it's literally her being her dad's best friend for like the weekend or their trip or whatever. And I love Katee Robert. I haven't read one of her books since February, so I should really get on that. Like, really should get on that. I'm not allowed to buy any more of her books until I read the two that I have that are unread. So there's that. And then I have a sample of Forbidden Flames by Alison Ames. This is a dark mafia omegaverse that was recommended to me by someone who watches my booktube content. But we have read and enjoyed a lot of the same books, so I feel like if she said I would like it, I probably would. And she said she enjoyed it. And I could go for a new omegaverse. They're not the easiest thing to find. A lot of them are way too dark and abusive for me. But the ones that I enjoy, I really enjoy. So I'm looking forward to that. Then from the library, I have The Iron Duke by Meljean Brook, which is another pen name for Mila Vane, who wrote my favorite book of the year, A Heart, Blood, and Ashes. Have I read the other books in that series? No. Am I going to start a whole new series by her first? Yes. This has been recommended several times by Mara from books like Whoa, and I have really enjoyed, again, several of the same books that she has, and she and I both enjoyed A Heart, Blood, and Ashes, and she said, if you like that, you should read this. I like it even better. So I have it from the library. I'm excited. This is where, let me look it up, but it's basically if zombies, I think, took over the world. So it's an alternate timeline. Iron Duke, where are you? You're way down there. Crap. Anytime you feel like it, that would be great. Okay. After the Iron Duke freed England from Horde control, he instantly became a national hero. Now Rise Traharian has built a merchant empire on the power and fear of his name. And when a dead body is dropped from an airship onto his doorstep, bringing Detective Inspector Mina Wentworth into his dangerous world, he intends to make her his next possession. But when Mina uncovers the victim's identity, she stumbles upon a conspiracy that threatens the lives of everyone in England. To save them, Mina and Rise must race across zombie-infested wastelands and treacherous oceans. And Mina discovers the danger is not only to her countrymen, as she finds herself tempted to give up everything for the Iron Duke. Or to the Iron Duke, with us. So Mara said that I think this one is a major alpha hole again, but not all of her books are. But she recommended it. She said she really thought it was great, and I went to read it. And I have it from the library, and I'm in the mood. So here we go. Then I have Magic Stars by Ilona Andews. This is in the Kate Daniels series, but it is a novella. Side note, but I've heard that some really important things happen in this one, and it follows Derek and Julie, who you are familiar with if you read the series, and so I want to read that. Then I also have Magic Binds by Ilona Andews. This is Kate Daniels number 9. So the novella happens between 8 and 9. I read 8 at the beginning of the month, and I would like to go ahead and read 9 towards the end of the month, and finally finished reading the series after not having picked it up for a year and a half or so. I love Ilona Andews. They are an amazing author, husband and wife team, and they write some of the best urban fantasy romance that exists. So if you like urban fantasy romance and you have not read Ilona Andews, you're missing out on the best. So read them. Then I have The Plan Commences by Kristen Ashley. This is the second book in the Rising series. This is a fantasy romance that takes place in the same as her other fantasy world, except on a different continent. And I read the first one again at the beginning of the month. It's a little bit odd because every chapter is a different point of view, and you do get reoccurring points of view, mainly from the main characters, but you're following all 4 couples that are prophesied about to defeat the dragon. You're following some of the bad guys. You're following random side characters, and you have a different point of view every single chapter, and it's kind of odd. It's not what I was expecting. I thought there's 4 books, there's 4 couples. I thought book 1 would be about the first couple with the plot progressing and so on and so forth. That is not what we're getting. There are things that I'm not sure about in here. There's definitely some content warnings. I plan on continuing, so I have the second book. There you go. It's the 4 most powerful witches, 4 most powerful warriors. Prophesied, they're fated, they don't get to choose to be a couple, they have to marry, but unbeknownst to them, it's not them marrying and having a child that fulfills the prophecy or gives the magic power. They have to fall in love, and they don't know that. So it's interesting so far, but different. And honestly, I probably wouldn't recommend it if you're not already a fan of Kristen Ashley and her alphas and her style. Then I have Hearts Unbroken by Cynthia Leitich Smith, and this is an Indigenous author for the Indigenous Romance Read-Along, hosted by beautifully bookish Bethany and Michelle from Thor Wants Another Leather. This, I believe, is a young adult contemporary romance, but I am attempting to follow along with that read-along because I would like to find some Indigenous romance authors that I enjoy. And so this one, her boyfriend mocks and disrespects Native people. She dumps him, and then there's a play happening at her school, and some people are... Oh, okay, so it's The Wizard of Oz. They're in a Kansas town. It's mostly white middle class, and Parents Against Revisionist Theater. They are being racist, basically. And there's a lot of prejudices, and she is trying to help, and also she is falling for the photojournalist at the school's paper. It is the book for May, and I would like to read it before their live show. And like I said, I am trying to find some Indigenous authors who write what I like to read, which obviously is a very specific cotton candy taste, so more power to me. And then also from the library, I had The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller. This is a young adult, darkish fantasy romance where she is actively trying to kill the king, but other people are also trying to kill him. She's getting married to him. She's trying to kill him, take his power, take his throne. But if other people kill him, then she won't get the power. So she's simultaneously trying to keep him alive long enough for her to marry him and kill him. And I've heard nothing but amazing things. I've been told that I would enjoy this. I've been told that it does not drag and doesn't focus super heavily on the world building or the fantasy. It moves along nicely with the romance, which is what I want. So I'm excited to read it. I love girls with daggers. Give it to me. Then finally, on Kindle Unlimited right now, I actually only have 6 books checked out. So it's low for me, but I have Shay from Golden Glades, Henchman #2 by Jessica Gadziala. This is the second chance romance, and it is the second book in this motorcycle club. I read the first one last month. There's only 2 out in this one right now, and I would like to read this one soon. Then I have Stolen by Milana Jax. This is the second book in the Alien Tribes series that she has going on, and this girl crash landed and she's going to be the prize in the competition. They don't have females anymore. They obviously need them, and this guy's gonna steal her, I think, from the competition. It's smoothing over the top, wild, wacky, alpha, bizarre. It's a good time. And then I have Relationship Goals by Christina C. Jones, which I don't know what that's about. Once again, it's about Christina C. Jones. Or it's by her. Like, I don't have to pay super attention to know that I will like it. But I did pick this one. Everyone is a stranger at some point, pulled by an explicable. It's probably inexplicable, right? Undeniable thread of something. Nick and Noah find themselves keen on becoming more. Hashtags and flights and late night text sessions lead to a connection neither has experienced or expected. Social media. I don't know. I think they meet through social media or are fake dating for social media. But it's by Christina C. Jones, so I'm gonna read it. Then I have Endura Sector by Lexi C. Fox. So this is a series by her that I have not read yet, although the second book I think was on one of my anticipated releases videos. Okay, so I think that this is werewolves. She's a rare omega, but inside she's a female alpha. She refuses to heal, and he's like, yeah, you are. He promises her protection, pleasure, and pain. All he wants is her, even if it means taking her by force. He says, my life began the moment I found her, my darling little mate. She's the force of nature. Endura Sector needs to give us hope for a future, a reason to keep going in to protect our lands from the zombie infestation beyond. So this is another zombie book. Yet she refuses to play by our rules. Born in a time where humans will do anything to survive, she's not used to the pack hierarchy or the laws our kind abides by. Oh, but she'll learn, and I'll thoroughly enjoy being the one to train her. She can fight me all she wants, but in the end, she will be mine, whether she submits or not. This is a standalone shifter romance with Omegaverse and dystopian elements. So Omegaverse, certain content may be too dark for some readers, so please review the warning note inside. I have read Lexi C. Fox before. I liked the level of the 2 different series that I've started by her, so I do think that it will be within my comfort zone, even if possibly edging it a little bit. Then I have Dark Fae, which is Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac #1. Don't ask me why I have this. I saw it. I thought it sounded interesting. I could not tell you where I saw it or why. It might have even just been on Amazon. What do a heartless dragon shifter, a cold-blooded basilisk, an arrogant lion shifter, and a brooding tattooed harpy have in common? Me. She's a vampire. She's an angel of vengeance. She's a girl on a mission to destroy one of them for murdering her brother. She just doesn't know which one it is yet. Classic reverse harem paranormal academy story. I've yet to find one like this that I've actually really liked. So someone tells her that the king of Aurora Academy killed her brother, but there's 4 kings. They're fae. 2 of the kings run the gangs at the school. Their hatred for each other so fierce that here a day doesn't go by without blood being spilled in the halls. I might be a petite, lilac-haired girl who looks like a fragile doll, but they haven't been introduced to my fangs yet, and they don't know why I'm really here. Or that I'll do whatever it takes to bring down the fae who took my flesh and blood from me. It's a reverse harem. Paranormal Academy romance. Alright, and then lastly, I do have Bad Guy by Ruby Dixon. This is a science fiction gladiator romance, and it's Ruby Dixon, and I think that sounds good. Her heroes are never very dark. I would be shocked if this guy was actually a bad guy, although I suppose you never know. He's a super fierce gladiator. His name strikes fear in the hearts of all, except the small human female who comes to clean my cell and glares at me the entire time. My new owners want things from me. They want me to play in their games. They want me to win battles, but I want her, and I don't care who I have to destroy to get her. But Mina doesn't want to be owned, and certainly not by one as terrible as me. How does a bad guy woo the girl when all he knows is death and destruction? So again, I think he's actually probably a good guy. But gladiator sci-fi, it's Ruby Dixon. I want to read it. So there it is, downloaded on Kindle Unlimited. That's it. Obviously, I am not really in a contemporary mood. These are the books I have right now. You read any of these? Do they sound good? Yada, yada, yada. If you have urban fantasy romance recommendations, lay them on me, because that's what I'm in the mood to read. Yeah, some new authors, some favorite authors, but I'm excited to get to these. Obviously, I won't get to all of them. I never ever do, but this is what I currently have on my immediate TBR possibilities. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.